Good morning. Welcome this morning. Come on in. Hope you're having a great day. This is Tuesday. So, come on in this morning. My name is Deborah and I'm a Splash of Paint by Deborah. And we're being streamed over in Craft Around the Clock today. So, welcome everyone. If you're not familiar with Craft Around the Clock or not a member of it, not on that page, I do have the link in the description. All you have to do is click on that when we get through and answer a few questions, and then you can be in that group. It's a free group, crafting, painting, all kinds of different, everyone's different. And it's from early in the morning till late at night. And there's replays 24/7. So just feel free to go over there and see all the wonderful crafters over there. But welcome again. Come on in. Glad to have you today. And we are going to be doing paint some tulips. It's not hard. If you've never painted, very simple, not hard to do at all. Let me, I'm looking around to make sure I have everything. Everything's right here at me, so I don't have to be looking for it while we are painting. So let me get things turned around, and we're fixing to get started here. But welcome this morning. Let's see, I was checking to see if I can see all your comments as you come on. Good morning, Donna. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Okay, I'm going to turn y'all down. I'm going to flip it around, and we're going to get started today. I don't know how long it's going to take me, so I want to make sure I get through. So let me kind of get this leveled here to make sure that, okay, there we go. Hi, Teresa. Good morning. And Pam, good morning. Okay, we're flipping it around and then turning it this way. Want to make sure that it is reading correctly so it's right. Hey, Cheryl. You made it live. Yay. Well, good morning. Glad to have you, sweetie. Glad you get to be here on live today. Hey, Vicky, sweet friend, and Kelly and Amber. Good morning, sweet friend. Okay, we are on correctly. Now what I've done, I've just taken a wooden, this is a 12 by 7 or 8. I think it's like 7.5 wide. Good morning, Sherry and Celeste. Good morning. Thank you for splashing the paint, Vicky. I appreciate that. Appreciate everything y'all do. Splashing the paint, spreading, whatever. If you don't know what that means, it does mean share. But I'm not going to say that too many times. We do get caught on that. But anyway, I thank y'all for the hearts and for all of the sprinkling, the splattering, splashing, and all that good stuff. But this is a wood piece, and I'm just going to use this. They're very simple. They're not huge. And it is something that can be used for something else. I don't have to, if I'm going to paint, I like to do it. And since I'm going to put glass, I wanted something that was kind of firm. I could have used a canvas, but I love painting on this size and on these little surfaces here. And what I did, I went ahead and painted it with chalk paint. I used ivory chalk paint to put one coat, and then kind of just drew out some few little tulips that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to paint these. Then we're going to use some glass to add to it. So let me, I am going to use magenta as one of my paints. It will turn to a pinky color when I add some white or tan or whatever. But that's my magenta. It looks real dark right now, and that's fine. And then I do want to use some green. So I'm going to use olive green And I am going to use, I believe I'm going to use sage green today. Yes, this is a sage green right there. This is Craft Smart. They do not make, I don't think, Craft Smart anymore. It's a very low grade student paint, but I love the color. So I'm going to mix it some in with my olive green today. Okay, and then let's see, any other color we'll add. I do use yellow or gold or something like that. So I'm going to use a little bit of yellow. This is just a medium yellow. I like to add sometimes some of my leaves. So I'm going to take and add a little bit of that. Let's see, that one has not been open. So I was going to see if I had one here that has been open. But good morning. Thank you, sweetheart, for the stars. Vicky. Thank you, Sherry. And I'm trying to see if anybody else I missed, because once I start painting, I miss a lot of comments. Hey, Patty, you love tulips? I do too. And especially this time of the year, being Easter, you know, be coming up. The spring, they're not just for Easter. They're for the spring also. I'm going to get a little bit of pink. This is a light pink. And I'm going to put that on my palette. And I think I'll just use this light yellow. This is by Deco Art. It's called Moon Yellow. Now, they changed the names of their paints. So they may not have Moon Yellow, but they will have a light yellow. So that's what I'm going to use today. And what we're going to start with is our background. I want to add some color to it. So I am going to take, let's see, I think I'm going to use my no, I better not, because I'm going to use that later. I'm going to use, let's see, let's just start with, I want a filbert. This is a flat. If you've never painted, I'm just going to tell you what some of these are. Flat, angled, and then this is a filbert here. It's a rounded. So you can see that's angled down. You can see that's just flat across. So, and then these are called rounds, and I'm going to use some of those. They're just round and, you know, like that. So let's start with our filbert. I'm going to wet it because I just want some coloring down in here. I'm going to pick up some green, and here we go. And we are going to add some glass to this to give it just a little bit of extra prettiness. And I am going to use a stencil on it also. So I'm going to wet my brush again because I want this almost like watercolor down in here. So I'm just going to start tapping it first. Let me pull it this away so you can see. Excuse my arm here. Let me pull that light up. So we're just going to tap it in. Hey, Lori, good morning. Thank you, Patty, for the stars. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are some sweet, sweet ladies. And if you don't know me, my name is Deborah, and I'm a Splash of Paint by Deborah. I teach acrylic painting. I do paint parties. I have an online class. And so I do teach painting. So now right now it looks a mess, but I'm going to take me a wet one. Or you can use a paper towel or anything like that. And we're just going to tap it like this because I want it to look, like I said, like watercolor. And so we're just using our acrylic paint to do that. I'm going to go ahead and tap some up in here because it won't matter because I'm going to paint all of this other. I just want some on my background right now. So we're just tapping it in. To about right there. Then I'm going to clean off my brush again. I'm going to just get it real clean. I want the green out, but I want it still wet. And I'm going to get this light pink, and I'm just going to pull this light pink, and we're going to pull it over here in a touch of this magenta. So I want it a little bit darker. There we go. Maybe a little bit more lighter pink. Dark goes a long way, so when you're mixing a color, just put a tiny bit of dark. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more water because I want it real watery again. And we're just going to start see, I picked up another color. Let me get that off. I don't want that dark in there. think I picked up some black. Okay, so we're just going to tap it along this edge. And it doesn't matter right now if I get it over some of this, because I'm going to paint over that and you won't see it. Just want to tap it in, and then we're going to wipe it off again. So let's just tap, tap, tap. And then we're going to take our little wet one again and then just tap over it, just to barely get those colors in there. I just want them to be really light. I'm going to get a little bit more, but I'm going to do it a little bit. Whoops, see, I'm picking up black. Goodness. We're going to tap that off. Okay. Let me get my other color. I don't want the black in there. So we're just going to come up in here and just tap it. I'm going to use my finger this time because I want it to stay. But then I just want to mix it kind of in and do some little shapes. Okay, so this is going to be our background. I'm going to do a little bit more pink down in here where my green is, just so it can kind of mesh into that green. There we go. So this is going to be our background. No big deal, because I'm going to do the tulips and the grass and all that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my stencil. And I am going to use this stencil here. This is one I love using, and I've used it a bunch of times, as you can tell. I probably should have. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to use this one. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to use this one up here. Right there. And let me get my little container here. I try and keep some paint mixed up that's thickener. It has thickener in it. And what it is, if you haven't seen me do this before, you use baby powder, about a half a cup, a tablespoon of whatever color acrylic paint you want to use, and a tablespoon or two of glue, like Elmer's glue, the white glue. This one's been sitting, so it does have a few little chunks, so all I'm going to do is just kind of smush it. And it's a little bit thick, and that's all right. I want it to kind of stand out. So I'm going to take this right here and just get it on my palette knife, my palette tool. Oh, palette tool. And I am just going to start spreading it. I'm going to try and do it where you can see. I got to hold it just a little bit. Normally you would want to maybe tape it down with some painter's tape or a masking tape or something so it don't move on you. But if I was doing a bunch, I would. But I'm just doing this little spot here. So this is painter's tape right there, that blue, and they have different colors in painter's tape. I'm going to swap sides now. Let me get a little bit more of my mixture. And I'm almost to the end of this little, so I'll have to mix them up again when I do some more. But we're just going to do it in. I want it to stand up. I want it to be very noticeable. And then we'll do some stuff with it after it dries a little bit. That's why I wanted to go ahead and get it on here. And that way it would be dry. Hopefully by the time I get through with the tulips. Okay, so I've just scraped it on there. Look, a smooth look. And then we're just going to lift it up. And there we go. We've got our little textured piece. I'm going to wipe that off. Okay, then we're going to paint. I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll do something to it. But again, this is, I use baby powder. You can use baby powder, cornstarch, or baking soda, and then add, I just bought some cheapo. I've got Elmer's also. Just a white glue, a tablespoon or two, depending. You want it to stay, so you want to use that. And then I use a tablespoon of whatever glue I want. Then if I need to thicken or make it thinner, I'll add either more powder to make it thicker or add more paint to make it thinner. Okay, so we're going to start with our tulips today. And I am going to start with, and you have to trust the process. Hello, Deborah with Laugh, Love, Craft. Hello, my friend. She's one of my crafting sisters. Good morning. Thank you, Donna, for the stars. I'm going to look real quick. Thank you, Patty. Y'all are sweet, sweet, sweet people. If you see any of my crafting sisters, please go on there and give them a follow. There should be a button right beside their name if you're not following them. Just click on that button. It will not get you out of here. It will keep you in here. Okay, I do need some. I'm going to use a light ivory, I believe. And I'll see if I want to use some white. I might have to use white. Well, I got a little bit of light ivory, and then I'm going to use some white too. Because in acrylic painting, and this is just a short little lesson, it loves layers of paint. So one layer just does not do with acrylic painting. It loves you to put layers of color. So I put a little bit of pink and magenta. And so we're going to start with this. I'm going to start, I think, on the sides. So I'm just going to do just some little curves and then just start painting down like this. And then curve it around and just make a little point and then just come on down this way. Now I'm going to add some pink tone to this right on top. I want it to be a little bit striped. See how that is? And we're going to do a little bit of piece coming off like that. And then I'm adding a little bit more pink to this just to give it a little bit more like that. Just gives it just some dimension just by adding that extra color. Now you're wondering why I'm doing it like this. This is just the way I do it sometimes. I'll start with the middle and then come on. And then I'll just, that way I can mesh the colors in together. Which either way you can do it. Your middle first or your sides. I'm going to leave this one like that and let it dry and see if that's the color I want. If the colors are looking good. So we're going to leave that one. We're going to come up here. I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to do it in that dark magenta. Let's do it a little bit darker. I'm going to add some little bitty dark tones and just do some little bitty stripes like this. And just adding it in like that. Just going to add little bitty pieces. Now right down the center, yeah, I know y'all can't hardly see when I'm putting my hand in front. I'm going to just put some little bit of pink right through here and then just kind of mesh it in with this and then get a little bit more dark and kind of separate it now just to give it a little bit more dimension. I'm going to pick up my pink and my magenta on my brush again. Well, hello, Rue. I think it's Ro or Rue Creations. That's Miss Jamie. Good morning. She's another crafting sister. Sweet, sweet lady. She does a lot of neat crafts. And right in my mind, I know what it is, but I can't think of what it is. But she does some really neat stuff. Okay, so all I'm doing is adding just some color just to give them, I'm adding the pink now. See, just adding a little bit of that pink in there just to separate different colors and stuff, just to give it more dimension. We're going to add a little bit more to this, and I'm going to pull this down. We're going to make this one a little bit lighter. It's like patchwork or whatever you call it. But she'll paint it and she'll do all kinds of stuff. Okay, so we're going to leave this one right now and come over to this one. I want them all to, they don't have to look exactly alike, but I want them to mesh together. Thank you, sweet Jamie, for sprinkling. I appreciate it. Don't you like the background? I wanted something soft. Didn't want it really to be, you know, out there. Just wanted it really soft. Okay, I'm going to do this one a little bit different. I got a ton of paint on my brush. I'm going to try and wipe it off. And we're going to add the pink first. And just add some magenta in there. Just pieces of that magenta in there. Well, hello, Be So Creative, my sweet sister, Kimmery. Good morning, love. Thank you for being on here. Y'all, all of these are awesome, awesome ladies. If you're not following them, I know they would love it. And also, I would love for you to click on my page if you're not. I would love to have you on it, on the follow button. I hate saying that because I know we were told that Mr. FB does not like you saying that, and I don't understand why, but anyway, doesn't make sense to me. So see, I did that one a little bit different color, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of that pink and just pull it up to kind of give it a little, to mesh it in. I want those to be a little bit darker on the inside. So we're going to do this one a little bit darker. I'll probably lighten it up just a little since the other is so dark. So I'm just doing a little round spot there. Then I'm going to take a little bit lighter and then add just a little bit lightness right there because I want each piece to be separate. When you're doing something like this, you want your pieces to look separate. You don't want them to run all together. So we want some light in it and some darks in it. So I'm just adding a little bit of pink to this, just to add some light to it. Hi, Jana. Good morning. And I was going to see if there was anybody else I missed. Y'all, hey, Cheryl. Thank you, sweetie. Good to see you. If I miss you, I will go back. Thank you for splashing the paint, sweet sister. Kimmery, thank you, love. I haven't been able to be on as much. I've only been able to be on like once a week, taking care of my mother-in-law and just life. Y'all know how that goes. And so my page is suffering. So if y'all can just spread the love and all that good stuff, I'd appreciate it. And like I said, if you're not following my page, I would love for you to. I do crafts. I was going to show you some crafts. We did this. I always try and use acrylic paint, but we did this the last week. I used clay. No, it wasn't last week. Was it last week? Yeah. And I used clay, and then we used acrylic paint just to give it, you know, just some different, but it's on a wood piece. So anyway, that's one of them. And just to show you know, we do different things. It's not that we do the same thing over and over. I've got several things back there, but I don't want to waste my time. But you can go on my page. I know, y'all, Mr. FB is changing it up, so our videos go away after 30 days. So if you are wanting to watch one, or if you want to do one on my page, let me know, and I will try and get it to you before the 30 days are up. Because I'm not going to be able to download all those. I'm trying to get all my private group downloaded so I can get it set up to where they won't lose the videos for my private group. So if there's something on my regular page that you do see that you might want to paint or make, craft, let me know and I'll try and find it for you before it is gone. Okay, I'm just going to put some little pieces in here, very light, just to get some more texture going in it. I do want to watch my time. Just add a little bit more, just to give some movement in it. I'm going to get a little bit of the light pink, and then we're just going to go in it right beside where those are to make them not as pronounced and make them a little bit smaller. So let me get a little bit more paint here. Again with the dark, we're going to do some dark spots in here just to give it a little bit more dimension. So I'm just adding these little dark spots in it. And get a little bit of light in there also. just to add. I do want to just kind of outline it right there on the edge with a little bit of that dark color. And just kind of outline it down in there. Okay, so let's do a little bit more to this one, and then we're going to do our leaves. And then we can start on our doing the glass, which is so pretty. I love adding just a little glass. I'm going to add some dark right through here. I know I put a little bit of light, but I just want a little bit darker right through there. And you'll learn shading and all that. And if you're interested in painting, my group's not open right now. If you're interested in a painting class, it's month to month. It's not one that you have to stay forever. If it's not for you, just hop out. But I haven't opened yet. It will open. Hopefully, I will open sometime in May because I'm revamping everything since Mr. FB is changing. So I'm having to do some different things. So anyway, we'd love to have you. But if you're interested in the VIP group, just put VIP, and I will send you some information on that. Okay, I think this one, I like this. I'm going to add a little bit of dark down in here because the bottoms are a little bit darker because the sun is not reaching them underneath. So we're just going to add a little bit of dark in all of these right through here. I'm going to just do it like that. Add a little bit of dark, just like that. And same here, just to get some shadows in there. Okay, so I'm going to let those dry. We're going to go ahead and work on our leaves, I think, except right here. I want to do one more little thing. I do want to take and do a little small piece right here. I feel like there needs to be something right through there. Maybe. We're going to do one, and if I don't like it, I can always change it. That's one thing with acrylic paint. You can make changes. It does not matter. Whoops, too much. I want to kind of just like I'm doing an extra little piece right there. Okay. Then I'll come back, and after it dries, you can always tell and go back and see if it's what you want. And most of the time, it's not what I want. So I'll usually go back and change it some. I'm going to add a little bit more lightness right through here because I do need some light in this. So let me get it kind of smeared on there, and I'm going to use my finger. Use my finger just to give it a little bit of light. It's got to have just little bits of light coming through there too. I'm going to make this, I'm going to do this right here, and I'm going to do it a little bit, not so perfect. I'm going to do it a little bit kind of wobbly because they're not perfectly straight. So we're going to give it a little bit of wobble right through there. All right. Same goes right there. Okay, let's go ahead and get our leaves done now. I'm going to go and use a angled brush. So let me get my angled brush. Just had it. We're going to use this one. This is, let's see what number it is. The number may be gone. A number, let's see if I can clean it off. Now, anyway, it's probably 3/4 of an inch, something like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take both my greens here, and then I'm going to get a little bit of yellow. I love the yellow tint, so I've got really 2 greens and a yellow. We're going to do a point right there, and then just kind of do it around. I want a little bit bigger point, and just make, and then come on down. And see how that gives it different colors in there. I will let it dry because we'll probably have to put more than one coat. Because like I said, this is super low grade student paint. I use student paint a lot. That way, y'all, because it is cheaper, we're going to just do that one this way and then come on and do this one like this. And just bring it on down. But I love how it does the different colors, gives us stripes and stuff. So I'm picking up the tube green and then tapping in the yellow. So we're going to do that right here. Just do it. And then just get it in there. I'm going to get a little bit more darker right through here. And we're just going to add some darker tones in our leaves along with that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add some more because we need a few more. So I'm just going to add another one. I'm going to do it this way. So we're just going to do a point and then just kind of bring it over, and then just, we're going to make a little bit bigger one going that way. Add a little bit of yellow. Let's add it on this side just to give it some highlights in there. And then let's see, I do want one, let me get a little bit darker green because I want to add one in between these, a couple in between. So let me get a little bit of, this is called grass green. It'll just make it a different tone. So I'm going to start, I think right here, and I want to do the one. So we're just going to do it like this. We get just one going here, like that. And I'm using the grass green, and then I'll come back with some yellow once that I get that on there, just to give it a different tone, and they don't mesh together. So we're going to do that like that. Get some more green, because I don't want it yellow. I do want it green. So that just gives it a different look. And that way you can tell that they're separate. They're not all just clobbed together. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our stems. And then we're going to do our glass. How many have done glass work? And this is not really hard glass work. Hi, Carol and Karina. Thank you. Anita. Thank you. And Kelly. Thank you, Patty. Yeah, I love doing, y'all know I love doing it crazy. If you've watched me at all, or if you're in the group, you know I love doing different background. I really do. I'm going to use brown first, and they're going to come back with a little bit of green. So we want to get some brown. I want you to be able to see where the stems are going. So I'm going to get it all the way to the edge there. Do not have to be perfect with this, y'all. You do not. Then I'm going to just put the green over the brown, and that's going to make it look a little bit darker, but you'll be able to tell, hey, that's a stem. So just get that green on there. And then I'm just going to do a little piece underneath. I'm not going to do a lot to do with this because I want to keep my flowers but I do want just to put a little piece. I don't know if Tulips have got that underneath it or not, but we're going to add it just to give it a little bit more dimension. Just to give it a little bit more extra. Okay. Nothing fabulous, just very simple little pieces there. Okay, I do want to add some brown because that's washing out, and then some brown in that. We might do another leaf up in there. Let me see. I'm going to leave it right now because I do want to get the glass on it. And I do want to add just some little bits of my pink in some of this too. On some of these right through here. I want to add just some, that's super light pink, so I'm going to take it and wipe it. This is already dry on my, so I'm just going to kind of just wipe it in a little. Get a little bit of that magenta and just do it beside it. Just to give it more dimension. It just needs a little bit more dimension to me on this. This one needs a little bit more something. So I'm going to add just little bits of color. I'm going to take this and show you that this is one piece here. So I'm going to kind of do it down in like this. And then this one over here, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And we're going to come like this with it. So I'm going to get my magenta and come right next to it. Just bring it down. That way you'll know that these are different pieces there. All right. That looks better to me. It may not look any different to you, but it does look better to me. So what we're going to do now is take our glass, and I'm not going to use resin or anything. Since I am just doing the glass, I'm trying to find my bottle. I'm going to use clear Gorilla Glue where we're going to lay our glass at. So let me get the lid off. And I'm going to use a burgundy and a green. I'm going to put some on the leaves and some on some of the some of the pieces here. So I'm just going to do a little bit right through here. And I'm going to put just some glue there. And then I'm going to take and just drop my glass. Now, it won't be that. I'm going to dump it off once it sets for a minute, because I don't want that much and it won't keep all that. So I'm going to push it in there, and then we're going to dump some of that off. And then right through here where this little piece is, we're going to put a little bit of glue right there, and then add some pieces right there. And again, I will dump it off after it sits for a minute. And then let's see, on this one, let's do it on this piece. We're going to do it right on that piece. So let me get a little bit right in there. And again, we're going to leave it just for a second. And then I'm going to dump it off. Okay, now I'm going to use clear. No, I think I'm going to use green. I'm going to use some bright green. Yeah, let's go with bright green. Let's just see how it does. Let's see, I want to look. Oh yeah, I like that green. Okay, so we're just going to make some little, and y'all, you can do it however you want. If you've done resin, you know, just go for it. This is just using glue, clear glue. You want clear glue if you're doing it this way. That way it will dry clear. And we're just going to put a little bit of green up through this way, just to give it a little bit of dimension right through there. Just like that. And then let's see this one also. Let's do this one. Just doing one little piece. And then I'm going to put the glue, put the pieces on. Let it set there. And then let's see, let's do this one here. I'm going to do it along the edge, I think. I like just doing the edge. Now, like I said, you could do the whole things if you wanted to. And now the green pieces, I'll tell you where I got it. Bought them at Dollar Tree, the green little bag. And it's in a bag this size. It's 8.5 ounces. The other glass I bought from Michael's. So, and Michael's will put it on sale, but they're usually in jars about like this, and I forget how many ounces are in it. I stuck it in the bag because I don't know why. Anyway, I stuck it in a bag. Okay, so what I'm going to do with the top ones, I'm going to try and just tap just very lightly to get these off. And then I usually have a pick here, and I'm looking to see if I see it. If I don't, that's fine. I'm going to use my palette tool here, and I'm just going to kind of shape it where I want these pieces at. I'm going to pull it down in there and just kind of just shape it with this. And again, I'm going to use this. Usually I have a little pick, and I bought it from Dollar Tree also. Has a little pointed end on it. I want that little piece showing there. I think it was just this piece over here I wanted the glass. And some of those will fall off once it dries, the top ones. I just want it in the bottom. And then this one, let's move it. I want it on this one piece right here. So I'm going to kind of move everything over to this one little piece here that I had. I'm watching my time. We still got 4 minutes. That's good because I want to finish that. Let's kind of point this. Let's kind of pull this down some. I think I'm going to make a little point right through here. Maybe bring it on down. What I'm thinking is bringing it, let me look with the glass and see how it looks. Oops, I moved one of the green ones. Let me put it back. Okay, I'm going to get my glass, and I just want to see how this would look if I do it all the way to the end here. I want to look in the camera and see if that, maybe make it a little bit bigger up here. And then as it gets smaller down to the bottom here. That piece needs to be pulled up, and then use some little tiny pieces right there. And let's see. I think that will look good like that. Okay, I'm going to take very quick, and we're going to dry this area. And there are 2 different ways you can do this. You can use wax, but I'm just going to use some brown paint, and I'm going to show you how you can just make it a little bit darker with brown paint by watering it down. If you don't have the funds to buy wax and stuff like that, there are ways that you can get around all that. I just want the top layer to be dry. It'll take a little bit to dry, but I just want that top layer to be dry. So I am going to take my brown, and I'm going to use the round brush, I think, and I'm going to just get it really watery. I want it watery because you want it real thin. So I'm just taking that brown and just getting it real thin. I want to wipe a lot of it off my brush. Now I've got my little rag here because I am going to go around the edges. Let me pull this up just a little bit so you can see when I pick it up. Oh, I hadn't glued that down yet. Anyway, I'll get that glued down. But all you want to do is just go very lightly over it. And I'll get some of it on there, and then I'm going to tap some of it off. But I just want to see where I did the stenciling. So I'm going to do that. Put this on it. Try and get the most of it on there. You could even do it with gold or whatever tone you want. Then I'm going to take a little bit and I'm going to go around the edges, but I'm going to take my rag also and just kind of wipe it. Let me get my rag. There it is. Okay, I'm going to pick up my brown on my rag, and then we're just going to kind of go around it, and then I'm going to wipe it off. because you don't want a bunch on there. You just want little bits of it on there. Do it on the edge here. And this is if you can, and I'm telling you, if you don't have the wax or you run out of wax, can't afford wax, this is a easy way to do it. And then you just wipe it off with your wet one just to get however you want it to be. I'm watching my time. Ooh, almost there. I'm almost done. Let me wipe this. Let me wipe. Go fast. Say, go fast, Deborah. Okay, get that back up so I can get some glue on that, and just kind of just make some dirty spots on it just to give it a little bit. And I got pink on it, and that's okay. So all we do is wipe that back off. It's on my rag. But see, something very simple, and it makes it look so cute. And my time is up. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there so that'll stay. Thank you for joining me. And you go watch the next creator on Craft Around the Clock. Bye, y'all.